Welcome, everybody, to the Erik Anderslang Show. Very excited for today's show. We're on set in Cabo, and before I get to our very esteemed and interesting and interested guest, my favorite type, I want to say thank you to Precision Pro, our wonderful podcast sponsor here, makers of great, I was going to say podcast equipment, but it's actually rangefinders and other things to help your golf game. Head over to precisionprogolf.com and use the code
Erik
to get
$20
off. I should know this by now. But they've been supporting Random Golf Club for a long time. Very excited for their involvement. And also, new sponsors of the show, Lab Golf. We don't have a discount code, but it's just a fucking sick putter. And also, Tacoma. Tacoma, we also don't have a discount code, but it's a great iron, and they got some new irons out.
Yeah, really what they'll do is they'll take shots off your game. So
They'll take shots off your game.
15% off your game.
And you know who else will take shots off your game? Our esteemed guest, Dave Fink. Welcome to the show. Can we cue some fake applause?
Yeah, sure.
Welcome to the show, Dave Fink.
Thank you. The crowd is going wild. Thank you to all of my adoring fans. I appreciate it. No, thanks for having me, man. This is like seriously special. Thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
Has it? Yeah, I think it has. Well, considering that I first emailed you in 2018.
I think it was 16.
16?
Yeah, you sent. It might have been. I think it was 16. Yeah, I remember because we'll
pull it up and get the exact date.
We've been in Cabo for a week. Dave was on the Breaking Series. We'll get to all of this. Dave lives in LA. We've got a lot of mutual friends. But when Be the Ball was trying to come out, which it still is, the feature documentary about golf and meditation, Dave, you supported the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, I was brand new to golf and quickly realized how being athletic and all those things are definitely a plus, but man, it's a mental grind.
Yeah.
And then, the second that I hear somebody on social saying, this is tough mentally, I'm like, okay, now this guy's speaking my language. Because I feel like I can execute golf shots, but gosh, that whole other part. I like to say that golf is 20% physical and 90% mental. Because it doesn't really add up. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then when I saw that, it just spoke to me, and so then I tried it. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm willing to try anything.
By trying it, what do you mean, like specifically?
Always in my golf career, I've tried to I've tried to have an ego death because I feel like that's how you get better, right? I want to admit when I'm not good at things, and what's the definition of stupidity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I'm like, so let me change something. And so the podcast, was it a podcast?
It's interesting because it wasn't a podcast. There was a podcast that did come out in 2018, which is this, I don't know what episode we're on, but it's nearing 300, right?
260, at this point, like 275, probably.
275. Good driving distance with the 3-wood. No, but this was, what you're referring to is I had released the meditations that we used from Be the Ball on SoundCloud.
Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. I went on SoundCloud, and I would go in my room, or if I got to the course early, I'd sit in the car and turn the car off and just make sure I was in a place, that I could focus. And I'd listen start to finish. What was it, 20 minutes? I think
we're about 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
20, some were 20, some were 30, but I'd listen to the whole thing. And the first time that I did it, and at that point, shooting in the 70s for me was like definitely possible, but didn't happen as much as I felt like it should happen.
First of all, hang on. Just to give you context here, he's talking about shooting in the 70s after, at this time, playing golf for 2 years.
Yeah, probably around 2 years.
Like an athlete.
A year and a half or something.
Naturally gifted. I will get to this too, but as a spoiler alert, we went to the range last night at the vibiest golf course in Cabo.
So sick.
The Muni here, Cabo San Lucas Country Club. And you gave me a lesson, and I've had a lot of lessons.
I'm sure you have,
with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if I paid for them, I would be shocked. I'm spoiled in that sense.
Yeah.
But the lessons that I've had were all the same in the sense that they were different from the one that you gave me last night. And I can't wait to dig into that because it really was, no bullshit, a different experience for a lot of reasons. We'll get into it later, but
Yeah, that's really nice of you to say and flattering, but I feel like that's what's made me stand out, because I'm not teaching PGA Tour players. I'm not, at Riviera Country Club as the head pro, and so
can I just pick that apart really quick? We're going to get back to the podcast and the origin of the meditations and stuff.
yeah. Well, I have to go. Yeah, I'll
But
finish that thought.
most professionals, from what I understand, really aspire to go to that highest level. Why do you enjoy being in the mix of the everyman, the new golfer?
Yeah, so I feel like we're skipping ahead in the story, but
I'm
but
sure
no, but I definitely explored that avenue because I love golf so much. Oh, maybe I should work at a country club, and be a pro there. When you're a pro at a country club, you are teaching the members at the club. You're at that club all day, every day. A lot of the time, you have to work in the pro shop for a certain number of hours a week. You start as an assistant pro, and sometimes you're an assistant pro for 10, 12 years. And I don't think people realize this, but an assistant pro at a very nice country club might make entry level $22,000 a year in salary, and you're pulling 50, 60 hours a week at the club.
How do they?
They offset it a little bit by giving you lessons,
Okay.
and you get paid for the lessons, right? Like separate.
Like you get a majority of the lesson price.
Yeah, you get some of the lesson price, but again, you're working, and this is the other thing about a head pro. Is that a head pro is an operator of the golf course.
Yeah.
They are not playing. They're not even teaching that many lessons. They are organizing all of the tournaments that are run. They're making sure the course is running smoothly. They're fielding any questions from members or concerns, which there are many.
Yeah.
But it becomes all of a sudden like, I want to be in golf. And now I'm kind of like managing golf. I'm not in it anymore.
Right.
And also, though, when I came to golf later in life, and so if I was 19 and someone said, yeah, you can be at the course every day and we'll pay you 22 grand and whatever, and maybe I live with my parents or my rent is low, I'd be like, that sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
But I'm an adult man. I don't have the time to do 10 years as an assistant pro making way below minimum wage. And also, I love playing golf, and I love being involved with golf. And I love the golf community in terms of I meet the scale of the people that I meet and teach is insane. So just for reference, I taught a 4-year-old on like a Wednesday, and then a couple hours later, I taught Deshaun Foster, who is a legendary running back, scored the most epic touchdown in the Super Bowl. Go look that up. It's really sick. It's like I taught a 4-year-old in the morning. I taught Deshaun Foster in the afternoon. And then the next day was like a couples lesson with 2 people that were from out of the country. And so it's like I'm meeting so many different interesting people, and I'm bringing them the love of the game. And that to me is so exciting. But to kind of go back, the PGA system it's not a bad system. It's just very regimented. They want you to do things their way. They really want you to do it their way. And that's kind of why you go to school for 4 years. That's the other thing. I'm an adult, and they're telling me basically you have to go back to college kind of thing for 4 years. You can get like a law degree in 4 years, man. And I was already kind of instructing golf, and they were telling me like, you're going to learn our way of instructing golf. And I was like, but that's the opposite of what helped me when I wanted to get better.
Interesting.
That's the opposite. And so now they're telling me, no, you're going to learn how to teach this. And I was like, oh, wow. Well, that scared me because I was like, that is why I felt like I didn't get better in the beginning. And then once I started also with my students, that's not how they get better. And so I didn't want to teach their way. They want you to go to Florida 7 times. Anyways, all of that combined with the low wage, the long hours, and all this stuff, and the exclusivity. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I will tell you something. I applied to 150 country clubs. This is
Wow.
pre-COVID. 150 country clubs all over the country, not just Los
You're willing to
Angeles.
relocate.
My resume, I sent them all this stuff. I did the PGA of America qualifier, passed first time. So I'm eligible and everything to do the program, and they're all like, don't have a spot. It was hard, and I was like, wait a minute. If you build it, they will come. Why do I have to do this their way? Why? And also, that's not the way I teach, and that's not how my students get better. And eventually, I just said, "Fuck this, man! I'm going to do this on my own, and I don't want somebody telling me what to do." And it was a leap of faith for sure, but I just wanted to keep moving forward and teaching more people, and I didn't, and I felt like the only way to do that was to do it on my own.
I heard so many things there, right? I mean, the thing that stuck out to me the most was kind of the origin of Random Golf Club, which came from within, like the curiosity from Be the Ball, but ultimately seeing like the atmosphere that I want to soak up is that of the random universe that provides itself wherever you go, and the less gates you have to arrive there, the more like wild outcomes that you can have.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I heard, and then the other thing I heard that was really interesting was, there's a lot. I get a lot of messages and I read a lot of emails and letters that y'all send about, like loving golf so fucking much that you want to devote your life's path to being involved in the game and being in the game really, and helping other people get in the game, being a shepherd, and however you do that, and people talk about career changes. You went through like a massive career change, right? You were doing a lot of other things that I'm sure were way more lucrative.
Absolutely. I mean, I was selling commercial real estate. So,
Yeah, let's back up.
yeah, I
Who is Dave Fink 10 years ago?
3-minute life
Dave?
story.
Yeah.
okay, 3-minute life story is I'm a jock who is also like the class clown, but genuine to a fault sometimes. I don't know if that makes sense. It's one of those things that I feel like when people meet me, it's kind of like a shock that there is no filter, not in a negative way, but like, oh, wow, he's really saying what he is feeling. And that's just kind of been how it has always been. But yeah, I was an athlete in high school. I've been an athlete my whole life. But in high school, I tore my ACL twice. And I was going to go to college to play baseball. And nobody wants a shortstop with 2 ACL replacements by the age of 17. So I also love performing. I decided to go to college for acting. It was like a last minute thing. Like, holy shit, I'm not going to be a Major League Baseball player. What do I do? Well, drama class was cool. Like, it's super fun. Okay, let's do that. And also, to be honest with you, the competitive sports community is a little bigoted. And, as a Jewish dude in Virginia playing baseball, not a super kind environment. And the acting kids were cool. They were just accepting, It was like not about that. But anyways, go to college, did acting, great. I was in Boston. Come to LA to do acting. I'm doing that. I'm kind of advancing my career slowly, getting agents, managers, all these things, moving up. But then it became about that and not performing. It was like 99% of it is like auditioning and trying to get the job and networking, and then 1% of it is like performing.
It's interesting because I now I hear the same thing twice, which is that the goal for you is the process. The goal isn't to be in a movie such that you're willing to put in, all of this experience of your life in sort of like doing something you don't want to do, right? You want to enjoy what you're doing.
I want to enjoy the process though too, because right, it's about the process, not the It's about the journey, not the destination. Yeah. Right, and so. But for me with the acting stuff, and this comes in huge with why golf was so special to me. Acting is subjective. So I could do everything perfect in the audition room, right? and you're the casting director, but in your head, the guy you saw for this role was like kind of blonde. So like, yeah, that guy's great, but I just like, I see this guy as a blonde guy. So next, I didn't do anything wrong. I put in the hours of work, literally training with coaches, going over the script, rehearsing, blah, blah. I kill it in the room, just not right because of your hair color or whatever it is. And there was a lot of criticism. It was constant criticism from your reps, you know, lose. So I remember being like,
Be different.
I was 160 pounds, and I felt like really in shape. And they called me in, and they just said, you know, we feel like you need to lose another 30.
Wait,
And I
that
was like,
sounds unhealthy.
30? Wait, what?
That sounds unhealthy. 130. Like they want to get you down to 130. Are you
My
boxing?
bloodline is, I don't come from like wafy little people. like, you know, we're not obese, but I'm like a thick Czech, Eastern European, Jewish. You know, I got thick thighs, man. Like, I'm not a little, like, I don't know. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, from where? Like, are you going to shave half my thighs off my body? It was just, it was toxic. You know, it got to the point where the industry was super toxic. And I was like, but wait, why am I doing this? Because I love storytelling, not because I wanted to be famous. And that's what it sort of became, is like, how do we advance your career? And I'm like, wait. I just want to tell stories and express myself and perform. And I was like, and now I realize that is not what this is.
Right.
And I've been bartending for 10 years, and it's such a grind, and I'm so broke, and I just like want more stability.
Right.
So then I started, I just said one day, I'm tired of feeling this shitty about myself. I'm done with acting. And it was just like, I'm done with this. I still love performing. I love media. I love movies. Movies take me to a different place. You know, just stories in general. They're incredible. I love stories. So, but the acting thing, I just was like done with it. And so I got my real estate license. I started doing real estate. You know, in a way, real estate was cool for me because there's history involved with buildings. So like a cool story, like this was a peanut factory in 1920. And then it went through some changes, blah, blah. Now we're going to make it your creative office. And what's cool, the scale that they used to weigh the peanuts from 1920, still in the back. So like, and it still works.
I want this place.
Right? It's literally, so that part of it, cool. Again, storytelling, like sort of
You
there.
sold me.
That's part of what I liked about it. But again, like I felt like through doing that, I wasn't helping people. I was making money. I was helping maybe like a corporation expand their financial portfolio. But it didn't feel 100% like my heart was in it. I was definitely doing it for the money, which I thought was what I wanted because of acting making me struggle so much. But anyways, what ends up happening is because of the bartending and everything, and I ended up developing alcoholism. It kind of runs a little bit in parts of my family. And I'm like, my friends called me the tank because it was just like I just wouldn't stop. And I'm like, I'm not throwing up. I'm not falling asleep. I'm just like, dude, this guy's still going. That's insane. But it just wasn't healthy. And I got pancreatitis. And so it was really scary. And they were like, hey, man, like, if you continue to drink, even like, you know, go out and take 3 or 4 shots, you could die. And your pancreas doesn't regenerate the same as like a liver. So if you damage it, it's kind of damaged for life. And it was like, holy shit, I kind of almost killed myself. And, you know, a lot of it was from the self-hate that I kind of developed during, you know, the super critical, toxic entertainment industry stuff that I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy shit, snap, wake up, you got to stop doing this. But that happened. So I got pancreatitis right after I got my 4th ACL surgery. I had blown my knees out skateboarding. Like, I've lived so many different lives. It's like weird to think about. But again, I love meeting new people. I love hearing stories. I love the feeling of community. So, storytellers, if it's actors, community of storytellers. If it's baseball players, community of athletes. Golf, obviously the best community of all. But so I blew my knee. Skateboarding, again, great community, right? And like you guys are all kind of bonded and and it was great. But and I skated my whole life, but I blew my knees out again. It was like I tore my ACL for the third time and both knees. And they brought me in and were like, we are going to have to basically do a double knee replacement you're 27. So you're not going to be able to walk for 6 months because you have no cartilage left. So what they did was they drilled about 10,000 microscopic holes in my bone in the hopes that the marrow will bleed out and then kind of create like fake cartilage. But I both knees at the same time. So I moved home to Virginia. I'm in Virginia for 6 months at my parents' house because I cannot walk. They told me, you're never skating again. And I skated my whole life, and it was such a good community for me, and different than baseball, jockey community. Skating's more of like a chill, like...
Yeah, low-key.
Yeah, and...
More hanging.
It was like a horrible breakup, me and skateboarding.
Yeah.
Because they told me, you cannot ever do this to your knees ever again. So I found your SoundCloud. And it was a post that said, here's the link to the SoundCloud. It's a 30-minute meditation that you can do if you want before your round. And I thought, I'm in. I'm going to do this. So I did it. And like I said at the time, high 70s was good for me. Felt like I should be there more. But, I shot a 72 that day. I'm not even kidding.
Wait, that wasn't your career best, though, at the time?
At the time, I think it was. I had shot it before. This is... A lot of the stuff I'm going to say, it sounds like a lie because it's just that weird. I shot 72 6 months after I picked up clubs.
I believe it.
It was just like the weirdest round where I was just like not swinging very hard. I hit every fairway.
You're like a free spirit, though, right? Like you have this kind of like, you're like, in more ways than most people, I feel like you're more connected to the moment and the spirit, which is the way to play golf.
It has to be.
Yeah.
And
so wait, I'm curious. So,
yeah,
do you remember
bad
the meditation?
things happen, good things happen. But
do you remember which meditation it was, the content of it at all? Because there were 10.
Honestly, it was like, I'm telling you, I was early in on it. It was, and also I listened to all of them.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And what I would do is so the first one, 72, and I couldn't believe it, but I felt like that was what was missing, right? Because I'm an athlete, but what is it that's stopping me from playing to my potential?
Right.
And then the meditation, and then 72, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like,
Yeah.
Is this real? So then I'm like, well, I got to do this again now. So then I'm like, well, now there's episodes. And you do have a great voice. And especially, though, during these Be the Ball, it was a little even toned back to be more.
Oh, it was intentionally low-key.
Sure, but it was perfect. It was like calming.
So I feel like a lot of people might have heard this already if you've been a long-time listener of the podcast, but the meditations themselves, so we did this experiment with USC where we took 50 golfers of all different skill levels and we made a documentary about teaching them meditation to see if they would get better at golf. So these meditations were, I basically read them, I wrote them and read them, and the origin of that was like, how can we take traditional meditation like knowledge and experience and apply it to a task or an activity, kind of like walking meditation. So you count while you're walking and you just try to get fully in the count. And the interesting thing is that these 10 meditations are what led to the podcast, because at the end of the filming, when the filming was complete for Be the Ball at the time, I sent out a questionnaire to the 50 people that were involved, and I said, want to get some stats. Also, would love you to color in like what your experience was like. And like a small handful of the responses were like, I really enjoyed listening to your voice. And I had never heard that or thought about that. I never liked.
But it's hard to imagine that because when you listen to your own voice, you think,
God, it's terrible.
Oh God, like this is the most cringe thing
terrible.
ever. But
yeah, I hated it.
Look, you have a great voice, so yeah, no, that's just facts.
And someone within that said, they said something similar. Like it's nice, it's relaxing to listen to, and then they said you should consider starting a podcast. I was like, what? I don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on a microphone.
Well, you have a lot to say.
And it was but I think also
you thought you didn't have
that's
anything
an
to say,
interesting
though.
journey,
I
right?
think you thought you didn't have anything.
And I don't know. You familiar with Joseph Campbell, like the hero's journey?
No, not yet.
Okay, you're familiar with the Matrix.
Yes. Of course.
Familiar with Star Wars?
Familiar with Star Wars.
I'm a
Star
Wars
The Matrix is an
nerd.
easy one, but like in the beginning, everyone's telling Neo that he's the one, and he's like, I'm not the one.
Right.
And I'm not saying I'm the one, but I'm saying I didn't recognize a gift that I had. And
Exactly.
I do believe it is probably one of the things I'm.
No, but
there's
I'm
a lot
the
of things I'm
same way,
terrible
though,
at.
because before I started making golf tips,
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
sort of like putting it out there for other people to experience, not just the person that I'm with giving the tip to, they're telling me like people need to hear this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's so helpful right away. It's different. It's like, it's a feeling. It's not a super technical position. And so at first I'm like, no, really? Like, do people really want, And so I know I totally understand that 100%.
Right. So, okay. So
Meditation, though.
yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What's the story?
so I'm like, is this a fluke? After the first episode
Right.
that I listened to and shoot 72. But the meditation stuff made sense to me because in acting, the conservatory that I'm in acting is, they need you to go to a place where you're in the moment
Right.
so that you can actually genuinely react instead of like, I'm surprised, because the character's surprised in the moment. Like, no, you need to really just be here.
Yeah.
And so we did a lot of meditation
Who was
stuff.
this teacher?
Well, it's Emerson College. So
Okay.
it's you have a bunch of different
He's
teachers.
downplaying it. It's a top conservatory.
It's a top conservatory. It was hard to get into.
How big is your class?
So, like 2,000 or 3,000 kids audition, and they let in 30. And then after your first 2 years in college, there's another round of auditions, and they cut it in half.
Whoa.
So then you go 15 people for the last 2 years. You're with each other every day for 6 to 7 hours. You go to every class together, and it's really intense.
Like
But,
Q school.
Wow.
yeah, it's really intense. But they take you to places that you're like, because good acting is vulnerability,
For sure.
and like just allowing things to affect you, and because everybody puts up a shell, and it's a thing to protect yourself, and it's learned through society, that if something really upsets you, maybe whatever, but like deep down you're like, that
I'm hurt.
I'm really hurt, man. Like,
That's golf.
and so
Being comfortable.
gonna ask.
It's being comfortable, feeling comfortable in uncomfortable places.
yeah,
How
but
do you,
allowing that to happen to you, and
do you apply that to golf though? The vulnerability.
so
in
this
golf?
is the thing. I knew that was how to be a genuine performer, like a real actor, was to let yourself feel. And in golf, like, I had been trying to force it. And, so when I would have a feeling of like, fuck, I would be like, no, fuck that. Like, and try to fight it, right? And so much of golf is like, if you're not playing well, you need to learn to bow your wrist and like course management and all this stuff. And it's so outside of your head when really the game is in between your ears. And so then when I hear you say the meditation stuff, and I'm like, wait, what if what I'm missing is bringing that vulnerability to my game and to the course and to what I'm thinking about what golf is? Because like a different sport, you can run on adrenaline. You can fuck somebody up just because you are like, and like force it. And I'm going to kill this guy, like on the football field. I'm going to knock this guy over. And you can do it. And if you are like, I am going to fucking hit this to 2 feet from 240 out, it doesn't work like that. You have to be in the moment. You can't be thinking about the last shot, and you can't be thinking about the consequences of this shot or the next one. You have to be in the moment. So then when you're talking about meditating and sort of, in my mind, that made me feel like being more vulnerable and honest. And I was like, holy shit, wait, there's something to that. And it was unique because people, and I think this is why people were telling you, do this, because no one else was. And that was sort of what attracted it to me. There's plenty of stuff on how to get better. And of course, I was watching YouTube swing. How do I fix my slice? Other stuff like that. Or how to break 80. But what you were doing made the experience different. And that, to me, was what important. And so I kept doing it. Because before a round, what I'd do before is I'd show up 2 hours early. I'd hit like a full bucket of balls. I'd put 2 practice sticks down on the green and like try to work on my putting path. And like, dude,
It's a lot, bro.
So I'm like, hold on.
It's a lot.
Let me take like a couple minutes to stretch, do a couple air swings, and listen to E tell me to chill the fuck out. And it just worked. And so my process became way different. All of my grinding and worrying was gone during the round, and it was more like I'm learning, and then I felt like I could grind after, like at the range.
So let me. First of all, I want to actually invite JoJo to say one thing right after we come back from our ad break, which is going to take place now.
Yeah, when we come back, you're going to hear the one tip that fixed Erik's game in the second half of this podcast. So stick around.
Ooni. Some like it hot, like my pizza.
Some like it gooey.
What's the pizza you like? You like it when it's what's it called? Spotted?
Leoparded.
Leoparded.
Yeah, leoparded. Well, what's your pizza order? You a pepperoni guy?
No, I like a white pizza. I like a pizza bianco.
A pizza Bianco. Has this man traveled before? Has this man gone on a plane?
Back to Ooni. They make the most insane pizza oven. Here's the thing. If you're listening to this and you don't have an Ooni,
Go get one.
just pause it.
Yeah.
We'll come back when you get it. Because they make the best pizza oven. Can I say that? I can say that.
You can say that. And not only do they make the best pizza oven, their pizza ovens make incredible pizzas very quickly. The Ooni
Let's
pizza
just see.
ovens come in 2 sizes. They have multiple fuel types. So no matter how you like to cook, there's one for you. I'm talking wood, pellets, charcoal, gas. You can bake pizzas, just like he said, at 60 seconds. Some of them so portable you can take them on vacation or to tailgate.
While I make an Ooni, I got an Ooni at my house and I love it. And you can light up the holidays if you go to ooni.com to get an Ooni pizza oven. They make an awesome gift. It's the gift that keeps on what?
Giving.
Baking.
So yesterday, welcome back. First of all, hope the ads were great. I'm sure they were.
They were awesome.
You love a good mid
Bought
roll.
so much shit.
I fucking love a good mid roll. I love a nice warm mid roll about 10 a.m. on a Saturday. You know what I mean? Walking off the ninth, just grab a little mid roll. Okay, so JoJo said something yesterday that was applying to what you were saying about being present, being in the moment. The Scottish saying that you heard.
So there's an old Scottish adage that goes along the lines, and they're making fun of the golfer. They're saying that golfers should be conscious of no more grass than will cover their grave. When we think about really what that means, they're saying they're making fun of the golfer who only stares down at the 2 by 2 foot of grass right around their ball.
No, but they're saying that's what you should do.
I'm not so sure.
I saw that as
I'm
saying.
a little confused here.
No, when you said it, no golfer should be concerned with anything more than the grass that covers their grave. Meaning, don't worry about the grass back there. Don't worry the grass out there. Don't
Yeah, that's
worry
what I
about
thought.
the future or
It's
the past.
so funny. I see
thought it
it.
meant.
I see it, and I think about the golfer who walks a whole round or plays a whole round and never looks anywhere else besides directly at their feet.
Oh no, I don't think if it's a Scottish saying, they're not that tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
They're not that. That's not their humor.
It's kind of
that
sarcastic.
technical.
No, I think it's a much more kind of traditional kind of Gaelic understanding of is a stoic version of the grass is now. Whoa.
Dude, that can mean, now that I'm thinking about it, it can mean so many different things. Now I'm
write
thinking
that
of it wait, what was it? Beware of the golfer? What was the beginning of it?
A golfer should be conscious.
Oh, a golfer should be. Okay,
A
never mind.
golfer should be conscious of no more grass than will cover his grave.
Yeah. I like that. I mean, I think that can mean sort of, for example, you're on a perfect tee box on a par 3, but it's over water. And then,
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
worried about the grass or, on the green instead of hey, look at this. This is all you need to worry about is the little impact zone, which is actually, honestly, it's how I teach.
Yeah,
I just
actually,
care
that's where I
about
want to go.
impact. I just care. Yeah,
This is where I want to go. So, for a long time I was with Dana Dahlquist, who I'm sure you know, Eldorado.
By the way, though, I love Dana.
Love
and
Dana.
I've never met him, and we don't actually communicate. We just kind of and he likes some of my comments. But Dana's a good guy.
He told me about you long before Landon
He
did.
did not.
Yeah, he did. He did.
What? Dana?
Yeah. Dana's interesting because he's like,
Dana teaches elite golfers.
Like tour players.
I just need, but Dana and I are much different. Dana has been around for a lot longer than I have. I started playing golf 8 years ago. I started coaching golf 6 years ago.
Yeah. So what's interesting about Dana is I love Dana, and I got a lot out of working with him repeatedly when I was in Los Angeles. I probably saw him 10, 20 times a year, and I would go down there, and he was in Be the Ball, actually. He has a scene where he talks about, he has an interesting scene in Be the Ball where he talks about when a golfer is struggling, they focus on, I need new equipment. And that's because the money is in the equipment and the marketing is in the equipment, and the culture of corporations has told us to focus on the equipment, and that's an unfortunate world that we live in.
Yeah,
they don't focus on I need a lesson or I need to think about this differently, and so we talked a lot about that. I will say for me, I don't think I was good enough to really utilize Dana's teaching to the best ability, and a lot of it was about club path, and a lot of it was about very specific positions that
which are important for the 0.01% of golfers that play for money, and not $100 with your buddies, to pay their mortgage.
Yeah, but it was kind of like for me with Dana, I was focusing a lot on my hands and the club head and a lot of things that were that I didn't really have control over, honestly. The shaft is almost it would almost be like looking at a dessert and being that doesn't taste good. We need a different garnish. And it's well, not really. You actually need different flour and really I just want to get to this thing where it's and then I've had a lot of other lessons with a lot of other people, and it's a lot of it is about things that I can't really control. And what you did is you got into the soup of the swing, and you really, I swear to God, it's been 11 or 12 years now. I've been I love the golf swing. I love learning. I put those two together. I'm a happy person.
Acquisition of knowledge for me is,
I
am hot on that.
It's a turn on. Yeah, I mean, I get kind of, you can say it.
It turns me on. It gets me off.
But what happened last night was I really looked at the swing from a much different place. I didn't look at it from the club, the shaft, the head, the grip. I didn't look at it from the ball. I didn't even look at it from the ball flight. We looked at it from the body. And you didn't really tell me much. You showed me one thing. We can get into it, but basically you held onto the club head with all your weight, and I tried to move you. First with my arms, which is what my swing currently is.
But you weren't conscious of this, right?
No.
I just, basically you go to the top of your swing, and you hand me the club head, and I hold onto it with a firm grip.
Two hands.
Two hands.
With his weight on it.
And I just say, can you bring me off my feet?
And I couldn't. And then you showed me that if I pushed off of my inside of my right foot and into my left pocket.
The feeling is very simple. In transition, use the inside part of your trail foot, because I'm going to talk so that lefties feel included.
What's up, lefties?
All right, so your back foot.
Back.
The inside part of your back foot. You want to feel like that pushes your front pocket about an inch forward, but then behind you.
And then so we got that.
And then you can hit with the hands.
So we got that pulling feeling, right? And I was able to pull you.
I wouldn't say it's a pulling feeling. It's so it's showing you how you think power is created.
Sure. Yeah.
In the
I
golf
got a powerful feeling. I was able to create enough power to knock you off your feet, more or less, right? Or to change your
bring me forward, man.
Yeah. And then you paired that with this concept of the upper body, is soft and supple and tension free. And it really took this entire experience of the golf swing and changed it into it, because I think as learners, we have to keep it simple. And that was really one of the most profound aspects of it all, because within a very few like swings and like interjections, if you will, or like doses of knowledge, you were really, I guess a dose comes in a syringe nowadays. I don't know, like, let's go.
Mine do, because they hit a little bit different.
They hit deep. So with this idea of a strong bottom that's moving forward and creating power into this left side, and then with this idea of a soft top that to me looked like an octopus, right? Of just like, just take the club back, be chill, and then move the bottom. And it's like everyone would say fire the hips, but like fire the hips doesn't mean anything. You can tell me to go downtown, but that doesn't mean anything.
So
you need to just show me
fire the hips,
feels like.
Keep your left arm straight, pronate, swing into out.
I'm gone.
Like, I'm just saying, how many times?
My ball's
Stop
on fucking
swinging
Tico,
over the
dude.
top, get shallow. These are all in my mind were buzzwords. And so what I showed you last night is the first thing that I do with all of my students, because it's that effective.
I got Dave Fink 1.
But it
I got
is
Dave Fink
it is
bass lesson.
well, that's
I love it.
I'm sorry, actually that is not true. The first thing that I do with a very high handicap player, 20 handicap players, I just explain not the swing, but what is supposed to be actually happening at impact between the face of the club and the golf ball.
Yeah.
Because looks are deceiving. It looks like the club is going up and then down, and then like right at the ball it goes up again.
Yeah.
And so most people try to do that, and it looks like that's what's happening. And when I was starting out, I never heard anyone tell me that was wrong or not to do that. So I go through, look, there are two ways to hit a golf ball. The ball is either on the ground or it's in the air on a tee.
On a tee, yeah.
So that's about 10%, right?
Right.
So let's go over real quick, ball on the ground. Cool. You want to use the face of the club to hit the back of the ball instead of using the sharp part of the bottom of the club to perfectly wedge under the ball, which it also looks like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Not what's happening. That's not what is actually happening. It's the back of the ball being squeezed in between the face and the ground, and the ball like rides the face and jumps into the air, which is almost doesn't make sense when you first hear it. So I have to hit the ball into the ground to make it go in the air. Because if you gave a caveman a golf club and just said this ball needs to go in the air, like they would imagine or move their body to kind of alter. So anyways, that's the first thing is that when the ball is on the ground, we're actually not trying to get under it. We're just trying to hit the back of it and then kind of down and keep that club face moving through the turf for 5 inches past the ball. And then the easiest way to explain it is skipping a stone on a pond. So the angle that the stone enters the water to skip, that's the angle that I want the club head just entering the ball.
Yeah.
And I go through all of this before showing setup, grip, anything.
Yeah.
And then the second way is the ball is in the air. So the ball's already in the air. We need to just swing around it.
And
Just
if
imagine
you're
like
listening and
it's
you're
on the
like,
tee.
I want this, to be clear, we filmed about a 10-part instructional series with Dave.
Well,
Very excited.
going over like the most important parts, because this is golf's really hard because it feels like there's so many things to learn. And the stuff that you were mentioning earlier about club path, hand positions, stuff that Dana goes into. The golf swing happens in 1.2 seconds.
Fire.
I'm not a super fucking computer in my brain. I can't even do like multiplication without my calculator on my phone.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to do 30 things correctly during 1.3 seconds?
Down
If you
to like a
think about that,
micrometer of accuracy.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
And so
with
like
speed.
is that correct? Anyways, the easiest way for people to get better is the first thing is, wait, what is supposed to be happening with this golf ball and this golf club? And then so after I do that, then I show them, let's. I just want to show you how to create the most power.
Yeah.
And then we do the drill that we did, and you'll see it.
It's great. It's great.
So, but what I do is, and I don't even have a student hit a golf ball for the first 40 minutes. And what's funny though is, so I'll have them hit 3 shots when they first get there. And I say, I'm not going to say anything. You just go ahead and hit 3 shots and I'll record their swing. And then we talk. I don't have them hold the club even. They're just like listening to what I'm saying. Then I go, okay, now that you know that the club head is basically, you're skipping a rock on water, hit a couple balls. And it's like, they look back at me like, that felt crazy.
Yeah.
Like it felt like nothing, like perfect. Like I've only had that feeling in my hands, like maybe never. And it's so easy, but you now have a clear objective.
Yeah.
When the objective is to get your club path 3 degrees right, so that the dynamic loft is 4 instead of 5, dude. Like
I lose
what?
it. I don't have that.
What?
I mean, there's a few players that do.
No. That's important again
Yeah.
for people that are at the level. Think about it. 99% of golfers do not benefit from that type of
say
thinking.
more than that, yeah.
Because look, what happens is now you're playing yourself in your mind, and golf becomes less fun because golf's fun on the day when you got like you get an email from your boss that you got a promotion, and now you're like not really thinking about your swing at all. You're just kind of like in a good mood, and you're striping the ball. And you're like, damn, that felt easy and fun. And that's the feeling of good golf.
Yeah.
The feeling of bad golf is standing on the tee going, just let me check P2 through P4. Cool, that's good. All right, now let me just check my shoulder alignment. All right, I'm going to get the slight tilt. And then you've lost. And it's not fun.
Yeah. So there's a lot of listeners in LA. So tell us, where do you like to teach most in LA?
So when I first started out, tried to get a spot on a range, couldn't do it. Tried to go to the country club range. They don't also let you teach outside players.
Right.
At a private country club, that you can only teach the members at the club. I love people. I love sharing the game with anybody. And I truly feel like you can get better at golf no matter who you are, like quick enough to have fun playing.
Right.
Not to be a pro, but to have fun playing. And a lot of golf instructors make it feel like that is impossible. You're going to need to come see me 30 times over the next 3 months to even break 50 through. It's like
a root canal, yeah.
No, and honestly, like, I'm sorry. And to be honest with you, I don't get as much return business as frequently as I should because I fucking give it all away in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that helps so much that people can go and work on that, and then they get better and better, and they come back to me for changes. Or sorry, just like adjustments or like refreshers. But I'm not the coach that's like, all right, come back 2 more times this week so we can finish working on that. The feeling is so understandable.
Yeah.
And like quickly you can use it. And so what happens is I'll teach a guy 2 lessons and I won't hear from him for 4 months. And then I get a text, hey man, I won long drive yesterday in the charity scramble, hit it 360 and and this is like a guy who's a 19 handicap. And also check this out. Screenshot of his handicap, it's like 5. Give him 2 lessons. And in like 5 months, he went from like a 19 to like a single digit.
You know what you should do is you should don't charge for the lessons, charge for their handicap.
Every stroke that you
Every
start
stroke
to
it's
drop.
$100.
No, because then people are going to start 8-putting the last hole so they don't have to pay up.
People will not be doing that.
No, but
get equity in their swing.
No, so
swing equity.
When I first started,
wait, that's another good one.
When I first started, I would basically sneak around in LA at like driving ranges, and they're not cool with that, and it feels sketchy. And
Did you ever get in trouble?
Yeah, definitely. Like, because people are territorial, and the one good thing about being on a range at a public course is like I'm teaching somebody, and people two stalls over kind of like start listening.
Yeah.
But they see like the guy I'm teaching is like a hacker. And then all of a sudden they look over and they're like, is that the same hacker?
My guy's striping it.
Fucking hitting really good shots.
Yeah.
And then other stuff, like they'll hear me talking about the golf swing. And like you said, it was so different than, I'm sorry, probably 95% of the instruction you've received.
Sure.
And so they're like, start kind of listening a little more. And I can see them then themselves trying it out. And then always when I'm leaving, they stop me and they're like, hey, are you a teacher? Because it's like, I'm not doing the normal teacher stuff.
Right. It's kind of hard for people to understand.
They're like, wait, but you're a teacher, right? And then I said, yeah. But, you know, I wanted a home base, and I was really trying hard to get on a range. LA City right now, if you want to be an instructor, you have to pay $10,000 upfront in cash for an extra clause on their insurance policy to cover some things that are personal liability issues. But that is a big ask up front. And there's a lot of rules.
Would you want to do that if someone was going to give you $10,000?
No, probably not. Because, and this is why.
But then you get a stall.
I get a stall, but check this out. You're hitting shitty range balls. You don't really know how far they're going. I mean, I have equipment. I could bring it to the range. There are other people there. The bathroom is far away. It's
the Rancho bathroom is
sometimes into the sun.
Do you not like Rancho?
Huh? No, Rancho's cool, but this is what I'm saying. Eventually, I just said, fuck it. If I build it, they will come. I have this close friend, Jeff Kwong. He's a professional F1, F2, F3 sports car driver who is retired. He won 3 times F3 races. He was a test driver for Formula One. He retired. We met on the course. I mean, look, that's why I love golf, right? I never know who I'm going to meet. I love booking a twosome and like showing up and like I'm always so stoked to see who the other 2 people are. And I hate when it's insular and they don't talk and it's like but oh my God, I love it. You get 2 older dudes, you know, and you just get the vibes going and like, I love that. And so that was kind of like Jeff. We met, we played, vibed. He loves golf. Semi-retired, you know, when you're like an elite sports car driver or whatever, you kind of retire early because you have your career 10, 12, 15 years, and then you're kind of have a little money. And
yeah.
Anyways, he was kind of looking for his next thing, and he has this big backyard, and he owns his own home. And so the pandemic happened. Golf's hard to get to. A lot of the ranges were closed for a long time. So I buy an Opti shot, which is such a shitty entry-level, like, guesstimation, false reading simulator. But eventually, we're like, what if, you know, we start to just think, this is a big space back here. Why don't we just rip everything out, completely redo it, and just make it the Dave Fink Golf Studio?
That's a really good friend. Jeff is a good friend.
I love the origin story.
Jeff Kwong. I'm almost getting emotional.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, that's a big deal.
I love you, buddy. I love you, man. Yeah, Jeff's a special guy. And Jeff's kind of like Jeff's a silent dude, you know, doesn't post a lot on Insta, you know, doesn't really care about that. He's just a really genuine guy. And, no, Jeff's the cool dude. But Jeff, you know, like I said, Jeff's semi-retired, looking for his next thing, loves golf. And we talked about this earlier, you know, people are like, how do I make my life more about golf, you know? And Jeff's like, well, I got the space. You've got the business. And so we just partnered. And Jeff ripped everything out. And we put in a putting green, a small chipping area, a full hitting simulator. We got a legit great launch monitor, and we built out a small gym.
Wow, dude.
Have you seen pictures of this?
I have. Landon told me about it. I've been hearing about it for a long time.
Yeah, so
Isn't
like
it open?
Yeah, it's open, but we're constantly.
Could you go next week?
When
Eric's in
did it
LA.
open?
Absolutely no, it's open full time. I teach 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Every single day. I don't take days off unless I. The thing is, because I love content creating now, and I'm not doing it for the. When I get a message from a guy that's in Wisconsin and says, "Hey, I've been following your page for 3 months. I think he liked 2 of my posts. Didn't even know this dude existed. Following your page for 3 months. I shot a 76 last week because of your tips." And I get stuff like, I unfollowed all the other golf instructors I follow because it was confusing me and making me upset. And like, I feel like, and to me, I'm like, holy shit. So then that's what pushes me to keep creating the content, is because I'm sharing it with other people. And I love that. I love golf should be fun. It should be fun. And when other people have fun, I am fulfilled.
I mean,
So the studio's open. You coordinate through me. You just hit me up. I don't like, if I'm at the studio and you want to do a same day thing, it totally is depending on my schedule and the other students, because they have priority. But usually 24 to 48 hours notice, we set it up. And we do everything from, weight trip. We do it all. It's great.
I can't wait to come check it out. Where is it? Is it?
It's right below right below South Pasadena, Alhambra.
Okay, so between
It's
Glendale and Pasadena.
2 blocks away from Alhambra Golf Course.
Oh man, I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, and so we got like, we bought dope speakers.
Yeah.
We keep the fridge stocked with like cold beer, cold water, the bathroom's right there. It's nice.
Yeah.
And it's a very private environment. That's the other thing. A lot of people, if you want to work on your swing and you want to hit bad shots, which is the exact time, practice is the time to hit those bad shots. And they get embarrassed, and that affects your ability to learn.
Yeah.
So when you're in a private setting, I let you put on your own tunes, and we just work on it, man. And you just talk to me, and it's just us, and it's just us. So it's great. Yeah, it's great.
Well, I think there's only one more thing that I feel like we have to cover.
Yeah.
And that's the breaking series you were in.
Okay.
Do you want to quickly hit on that experience?
Yeah.
So don't, obviously don't tell us what happened.
No, for sure.
But what I would love to ask you is, very specifically, you've been on camera a lot playing golf, but I'd love to hear if this was a unique experience for you. You don't have a competitive golf background. How did that feel? And just what was that like?
Yeah. It's not that I don't have a competitive golf background. It's competitive golf is so hard. It's so much different. When I got good kind of fast, I'm like, well, I'm good, with a couple friends, but what's it like really playing real golf when the stakes are on? So I started playing competitive golf. Again, I am not trying to be a pro golfer. I wanted to know what that was like. Can I do it under pressure? And so I've been in plenty of competitive golf situations. I love competing. I'm a very competitive person, and I love golf. So I'll still do that, but I did not play competitive golf in college. Look, people like Claire, you're D1 for 4 years. I don't even know how many rounds, competitive rounds is that? That's like
Claire
hundreds.
Hogle. What was it like to play with Claire?
So
had you and her interact? This is Claire Hogle, you know, like a very widely known golfer.
Yeah, Claire, obviously a beautiful woman and got a beautiful swing, and you don't see as much of her personality, I think, in some of her posts, because it's just her and her swing. And so I was unsure, how good she was. Obviously, the swing is like, that looks like she's a pro golfer.
It's like an incredible
it looks like a tour swing. But you never know. And, I honestly never judge people on what they do or don't do on the one day I play golf with them or whatever. But you can tell if somebody's got game, and holy shit. I just wasn't expecting it to be like that.
Yeah.
I've played with a lot of other people. I've been on camera and playing golf before, so this is the biggest difference between breaking and this whole experience and what I do. When I'm on camera, it's in the middle of a round, and we're on a par 3, and there's 2 groups on the tee. So I go, let's go back to the last hole. Let's do a tip in this bunker. And I bring my buddy who's like, my buddy Evan, Doc. He's a trauma doctor. Full-time trauma doctor.
Wow.
Yeah. He pulls 72-hour shifts. He lives in the hospital sometimes.
Steady hands, perfect camera operator.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Steady hands. So, but again, not a camera operator. Doesn't give a shit about social media. Is a real trauma doctor. But I'm like, can you just hold the camera? And so when I am on camera or if I have him film me playing a hole or whatever, it's just me and him. And he's just holding my iPhone. And so it's a wildly different experience than something that is, highly well produced, not just one iPhone, and please stand close enough to me, and I hope there's no wind right now.
Right.
There's no mics, there's no nothing, and so it's way different.
So going back to the breaking series, like when
And so I've
give us
played
a minute
competitive
on
golf.
coloring in the
I've played
experience.
competitive golf, never on camera, and also never with people that I genuinely care about. I gave Sam a full lesson, the day before the series, and so
and describe Sam to the listener.
Sam is the sweetest dude ever. Not a social media personality or anything.
Not yet.
Well,
It'll happen.
not yet. He is a rock star. That's all I'll say. So Sam, totally my kind of dude, skateboarder, so we bonded over that. Beginner golfer, picking up the game, has really no ego, is very honest, don't really know what I'm doing, but I love playing. So I give him a lesson, and you'll see in the lesson, the progress was, can I say what it was, or we'll hold off?
Say what the progress was.
Okay, so we're playing from the tips, by the way, in this breaking series. I play from the tips. I always play from the tips. I usually play from the tips. But for somebody like Sam, I didn't know how far he hit his driver. Some people who are a 20 can hit it really far. Most people, not so much. We put him on the launch monitor before we did the lesson just to get some base numbers. And JoJo and I just kind of looked at each other for a second because the carry numbers at first were 175, and this is with a driver. From 7,200 yards at a golf course, the carry sometimes is upwards of 250 to even reach to the fairway. So I'm going to just glance at each other. Okay, that might be tough. So a little nervous, and then we do the lesson, and it's like, so we do this lesson. The actual swing lesson that we did, the driver lesson, probably 10 minutes, right?
Maybe less.
Maybe less, maybe like 7 minutes, maybe like 7 minutes. And so we had 2 or 3 drives from him on the launch monitor, and I recorded the screen, so we have the data. So we 2 or 3 shots, 7-minute lesson. The next 3 shots were in. So the first 3 shots were around a 91 to 92 mile an hour club head speed, missing off crazy off the club face and carrying around 170 to anywhere to like 200. The last 3 were 103 mile an hour club head speed. And so on camera, we said, we're going to do a 5-minute lesson, and I'm going to add 5 miles an hour club head speed in those 5 minutes. We did like a 5-minute lesson, and we added like 12.
Jeez.
I mean, and it was
carry numbers. What are the carry numbers?
The carry went from like 178, 190 to like 250.
Jeez.
And then, I mean, my eyes got big. His eyes got big. The sound was different. The flight of the ball was different. And immediately it was like this wave of relief washed over me because I just knew like he's going to have no problems tomorrow.
I love it. Fink's
But, also the scary part is you take a lesson and you feel like you kind of got it, but how easy it is is it to take it to the course, right? And so, and that's always the question. Yeah. And to toot my own horn, my stuff is understandable. You don't need to grind over it to understand it and to feel it. And Sam, his ability to take it to the course was cray.
You'll have to wait for when the video comes out.
I can't
Find
say
out what
anymore.
happens.
I can't say
He's
anything.
not allowed to say anything else.
Can't say anything else.
Dave, tell us where to find you. And thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm big on TikTok.
You like TikTok?
No, I don't like it
I gotta
as
get
much
into
as
TikTok.
Instagram. It's not. I don't get to show myself as much and who I really am. Follow me on Instagram. You can set up a lesson directly with me. I also do a lot of virtual lessons. Again,
cool.
what's cool about golf? I teach people all over the world.
I love that.
Through FaceTime.
Yeah.
And it's been great. So yeah, come see me
It's
whenever.
Dave.
And then for on-course lessons, sorry, voice crack. For on-course lessons, you pick the course, you book the tee time, and we get after it. And I literally caddy you and coach you through every single shot that you take. We do 9 holes or 18 holes, student chooses.
That's awesome. So it's Dave Fink, Fink golfs, right?
That is correct.
And that on TikTok as well?
Same on TikTok.
Dude. I can't wait to hear stories from people listening to this and then, like, maybe even having an impact there. And then, you know, like, I think the impact is real.
On the
social
Random
media
Golf
as well.
Club. Going to Random Golf
Yeah,
Club
I mean,
on
I
Instagram,
think-
watching the lessons we
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Watch the lessons. Take the pressure off yourself to trying to be perfect, I would say, is like the one piece of advice I'll give people. And just get back to having it be super fun.
Yeah.
And so getting better, it shouldn't feel like that depressing or hard. Find somebody or some way to, you know, make it a little more comfortable so that you can get back to playing a little bit more freely and less mechanically. We want to hit shots. We don't want to make swings,
Yeah.
you know?
Thanks so
Love
much,
that.
Dave.
Yeah, thank you guys so. I just quickly, I know I'm like blabbing on, but you know, thanks for noticing that what I do is, you know, it's way different. So it's like, is this guy for real or whatever? And but we vibed so well because, and I was aware of you. Obviously, we sent emails and stuff, but I wasn't sure how everything was going to go.
Right.
Or what people are like in person or how people are going to receive me because that's all through your lens, you know? And it was just like immediate glue.
Yeah.
Like me and Claire, like, we're like best friends.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even just saying that for the camera. Like we literally stayed up talking about like deep life shit.
Yeah.
For like hours. And this is off no sleep. We needed to sleep.
Yeah,
But it's just we all bonded so much over we all have the same mission statement, I feel like. Get more involved in the golf community, play more golf, enjoy everything about it more.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's it. So thank you so much for everything, for having me out, for letting me share how I think about golf, for all the literally
got
like
the merch.
disgusting golf merch.
Got the apparel.
Sorry, you're
I'll
only
end it with this.
you're only gonna see me in RGC stuff from now on. Sorry, everybody.
I'll end it with this. There may or may not be a really sick collab coming out soon. Don't leak it.
Don't say
I
anything
can't
else.
say anything
We got
else.
we got a tea
It's
time.
more.
We got to run. We got a tea
No,
time.
no. We got a tea time. We got to wrap it up. But look, bottom line, JoJo is a fucking king. Erik is the prince, I'd say.
Probably reverse those.
Well, the prince gets a little bit more pampering. The king's got to run shit. But dude, no, you guys are both.
one way to put it.
All right, scratch that. You're both official legends, and like seriously, close to my heart, close buddies. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Same, man.
Thank you so much, Dave.
All right, everybody. That's it.